This week on the Digital Marketing Scoop, we're talking with Patrick from Sigma Homes. Sigma Homes are Ireland's first design and build company specialising in luxury home extensions, renovations and remodelling projects. There's actually a really good chance you've already seen them across social media. They even go live every Friday to hand over one of their 50 projects a year. And I think it's safe to say Sigma has really embraced social media in what is traditionally a very conservative industry. And they use that to reach out to their current clients, but also to interact with potential customers. And this year they won Best Use of Instagram and Facebook at the Cork Digital Marketing Awards and Construction Company of the Year at the Cork Business Awards for the second year in a row. Patrick, welcome to the podcast. That's quite the resume.
Hey guys, how are we? Lovely to be here in your cool little studio.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, fabulous. I've been watching your stuff online actually, and you know, while I'm not a digital person myself, or not really, I suppose I have a basic understanding of how it works, but I've enjoyed watching them. You know, so I can imagine it's fabulous information for guys that are out there that are interested in driving their company on, do you know?
Yeah, and it's the podcast format, so you can be in the car, you just flick it on, you can consume so easily.
But like, it's information, like when I think back of years ago, this information wasn't there. You were on your own. You were trying to think of, right, what is the next move for my company, my business?
A lot more trial and error in it then.
It's unbelievable, like, you know, the information that's there, it's, you know, business has got much easier, and the information is there in front of us. But yeah, the world has changed. Thanks to you guys.
I definitely wouldn't say that you're not digitally behind or anything. You're definitely very good on the camera and stuff.
Well, on top of it.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
I suppose as you said, a few years ago it was different. I suppose we started working with you probably 5-6 years ago at this stage. Maybe is it? I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not
Marcus.
sure.
I think I first met you in 2014. Like you know, when Sigma Homes was born, the birth of Sigma Homes. I suppose it's thanks to Cliq Media, you know, and this is just a factual story. You know, we brought a Sigma Homes, a company that was unknown, you know, turning over maybe 200,000-300,000 euros a year to now, you know, turning over 12-13 million. Like, you know, it's real, it's fact. You know, and the only thing we've done is market the company and express what we do. And I suppose that was our challenge back in 2013-14. Nobody knew who Sigma Homes was.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I think back of the journey we've had over the last 5 years, it's been incredible. It has.
It has been an amazing journey. I think one part of that probably stands out as a big part of that journey was the handover in Cove with Baby Kate.
Yeah.
There's probably a lot of people listening who maybe haven't heard of that or don't know about. If you would just talk a little about that project and what happened.
Okay, so Baby Kate was a project. She was, I suppose, the first little girl in the world that's been born with a breathing disorder. So the house they had was really not suitable. She was living kind of in an attic area. And one of the team came in and basically they had been on one of the local radio stations here. And there was a kind of a cry for help saying, look, you know, she said, there's nothing we can do. The banks aren't going to help us. They had actually an architect come in. They had a builder come in and said, there's nothing we can do here. So, of course, Sigma Homes had heard this and it was the opposite of how we think as a company. We got a design, we got planning, and we carried out a 200,000 euro home renovation extension, completely free of charge for the client. Yeah. So while it started, you know, something small, like going, God, could we, can we? It slowly grew legs, massive community. And I suppose really that was our first taste of the social media side. Yeah. You know, we got on to TV3 News, we got on all the national papers. We were on the radio probably every second week. So I suppose that, you know, and it wasn't meant to be that way. You know, it was a project that we said, look, maybe we can help. But it organically grew.
Yeah. It's just the noise that followed something good you were doing.
And it's amazing because when I heard you asking the question, it made me actually think about it for the first time ever. Was that the start of the journey? Was that the start of the real journey of understanding it and being comfortable in the social media world? Yeah.
That's almost a dive into the deep end as well. Like a lot of businesses will start out with, we'll try posting once a week, we'll try posting this, whereas you jumped in straight into, okay, there's cameras around me, there's people asking questions, I'm on the radio and we're posting, we're being tagged and stuff. You know, you were submerged in it very quickly.
Absolutely. And what I love, the biggest thing I love about social media is that we can put it out there. So that time went live on air, and we said we're going to hand that home over on the 25th of November at 3 p.m. Like, there's nowhere to hide from there.
No.
So think of the power behind that. So you can, so now you've got the power of thinking about it, but actually by putting it out there will make it happen. So it's incredible. It's incredible. It's also showing everyone, how serious you are as a company and as a business. But more importantly, it's giving you credibility and something to kind of follow up on.
Yeah. And overall, it was just the night was an amazing event. I remember we live streamed on Facebook.
Yeah, how many hits did we get?
Tens of thousands. I remember there was people commenting from like America and Australia and everything on it. Like, so it was magical is the only way I could describe it. Like,
look, it was done for the right reasons. It definitely put a love heart beside our logo. Which was very important to us. I suppose everything Sigma Homes has ever done has been different. There is nothing that Sigma Homes have done from, our approach from like a typical project would take 30 weeks. We have reduced it to 14 weeks. We will go live at the start of every project and say this is the date we're going to hand it over. We have never ever missed a handover. And about 20% of the time we actually finish ahead of schedule. That's not like, oh, you're great, but that's how important social media is.
It's crazy because it was actually happened the other day because I'm obviously newer to the Cliq team, so I've only been working on your stuff for a few months now, but you sent me a video the other day and you said this will be handed over on April 3rd, and I said to Christian, I was like, he's a brave man saying April 3rd, like what happens if it's April 4th, like, or what happened? And Christian was like, it won't be April 3rd, he's never missed a handover. And I was going, what? Like it's just unheard of in construction, really.
There's almost an extreme form of accountability from social media because you've put it out there. You said this is when it's going to be.
It's fact.
Hundreds, thousands of people have seen it.
I don't mind. It's perfect for me as well because I just need to put it in a folder going April 3rd, and then when April 3rd comes, I can go back to the same folder to like the old video.
No, and we do look, and it's just a different level way of thinking. Our industry would probably be the least professional industry. Everybody can tell you a story about a builder that came or probably didn't come. He was late. There was no such thing as a start time and finish time. Everyone's got a bad story to tell about a construction. And we really want to change that. Our biggest goal is that we can change the industry as a whole. Yeah. I genuinely want all my competitors to copy exactly what we're doing and pass us if they can. That would be my biggest dream. Yeah. It really would, because we want to change the industry. And it's messy, but we're getting there. I can see already companies making little bits of improvements. Okay, there's a long ways to go. Yeah. As a design and build company, our approach is so different. But everything, and that's why I fell in love with social media and Sigma Homes fell in love with it, was it allowed people to know who we are and what we're all about. Yeah. It gave the company, it gave it a face, and it gave it a voice.
Yeah.
Even when we started with the Instagram a few months back, the first thing I did was I was like, right, I'll see what best in practices in the area, in Ireland, maybe even further afield in construction. And it's just nearly impossible to find like other companies that are really engaged on social, just not even to copy them, but just to kind of benchmark where it was to start. But then it was great, obviously, that you were well capable of and happy out on camera and everything, because that was a step ahead of what a lot of them were doing.
No, and it's a very uncomfortable place for, a typical builder to go from, shoveling a foundation to going in front of a camera. Yeah. It's unheard of. But at the same time, I don't think in the next 10 years there's going to be another Sigma Homes. But I'm hoping the generation after that there will be. I really do. I think the 7-8-year-olds today that are going to pick up a trade and go to college and become a carpenter have been following and are watching our videos, and these guys will probably clone what we do. Yeah. Like, for me, wouldn't that be amazing? Yeah. Like, that's special. Now, that's a legacy that I would be proud of. Yeah, that would be a legacy I'd be proud of. Yeah. Do you know?
And I suppose one thing that is, and you've definitely shown me a lot on this as well, is the power of a strong brand.
Yeah.
And over the years, I would say that it's the Sigma Homes brand. When you're even when you're driving by the projects,
yes,
your brand is absolutely everywhere along that project. There's no anybody who's passing a Sigma Homes project, they know they're passing a Sigma Homes project.
Absolutely.
And even simple, and it is a simple thing, but again, in the industry, you don't see that many do it. There might be a little sticker or a sign or whatever it might be.
Look, most people aren't putting their sign up because they don't really want to know they're there, because the job is going on for 8-9 months. Where next door you have Sigma Homes and the project is lasting 14 weeks. And the 14 weeks is kitchen painting, clients are sleeping in the house at night. So again, the shift is so big. It's not even fair to compare what Sigma Homes do to another builder, but you're correct. You know, when I think of brand awareness, like I remember when we were designing our logo, this would have been before I would have met you day one, Mark. You know, the guys couldn't believe that I didn't want to put a mobile number up beside the logo. He said, how you mean? How you're not? I said, are you joking me? We will not put a mobile number up beside the logo. I said, you know, if a customer has to have a mobile, you know, if that's going to be the basis of our success, then we're all in trouble. I said, no, we shall not have a mobile number up beside the logo, because the thinking was different back then, like, you know.
And it's almost like you're a luxury brand essentially as well, you know, and that it does take away.
It would take away.
From it big time.
It would take away, but the mindset was completely different. It's a bit like we owe it to our customers to have a brand that, you know, has pride beside it. It doesn't need a mobile number. It doesn't need an address. The name, the brand says everything on its own. At the time, though, it was, you know, when the logo was being made, Sigma Homes was nothing. It was zero. But we had the vision. We knew exactly the direction we wanted to take this in. And this was after 8.5 years of recession, remember, when there was no work happening. There was nothing. Yeah. But an opportunity we did feel was coming. It had to come at some point. The tide had to turn, and we wanted to be ready, and we were. But we just had all our ducks in a row. But most importantly, our hearts were in the right place. We knew what we wanted to achieve for our customers. And, you know, that's why, you know, we're probably one of the first construction companies in Ireland that have offered a 10-year warranty with all our projects. A 10-year warranty, that's unheard of. But we really wanted to say who we were and why you should use Sigma Homes. So you could put all our customers into one room and they pretty much would all get on. You know, there's a particular type of customer that's suited. But coming back to branding and marketing, like, I wouldn't be here today if social media didn't exist. Like, Sigma Homes would not be here today. I'd be in a foundation somewhere with a shovel digging. I'd have no sign up, you know, but you know, that's the reality of it, like, you know.
And it's funny, if we take back to how we started working with you, I always break down into the direct marketing side and the brand building side. Yeah. And we started off very much in the direct. That was where somebody went to Google and they searched for a builder, or they searched for someone to do an extension.
Yes.
We made sure you were the first ones
up
they
there.
would see.
Yeah.
And how over the years it's expanded massively now to more the feel around the company and the awareness around the brand. Yeah. It's not just the direct, it is the brand. And I think the combination of both of those, where if someone just goes to look for a builder, they see you, but there's already a good chance they've heard of you, they've seen videos, they've seen photos.
There's a chance now that they're searching Sigma Homes rather than builder.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's gone to a whole new level. So in 2016, you know, I would have been spending, like, I get about 30 contacts every week. So every week we get 30 new customers ringing. We will always speak to every one of those customers. They'll all get 20 minutes of our time. Our problem isn't selling. Our problem, you know, 30 customers by 52 weeks in the year, what's that? 1,500 euros or 1,500 customers. We only do 60 projects a year, and we're never going to do any more than that, because we know that that's the premium level for a high-end product. So we spend so much time talking to customers that we can service. Now, that's something, that's another conversation that I'd like to come back another day and talk about some future plans we have for those customers. But every single customer that I talk to, and I would say 100% of all the 30 all know of Sigma Homes. They're all watching our videos. So by the time they come to us, they have a relationship with the company already.
I feel like they know you, like.
So think about what I'm saying here. Yeah. So in 2015, nobody knew who Sigma Homes was. In 2019, every single customer, before I even speak to them or any other member of the Sigma Homes team, they know our company. They've watched our last 10 handovers. They know our customers. They've done their homework. It is an amazing feeling, because when you pick up the phone, you talk to somebody and you know them already and you have that relationship, like, this is all the power of social media. You know, you have a relationship with them. They know you and you have never even met them. Yeah. Isn't that a beautiful thing, like, to be able to have that Like what I always would say to a customer is, let's cut to the chase. Let's pretend that everything is going to be great. That's the space we want to operate in. Time will prove it. Now we can do that before they even pick up the phone. They're saying hand over, every Friday. It never stops, like, you know. But definitely, definitely social media has driven Sigma Homes on to another level. You know, for sure it has. Like,
and it's amazing that we only started Instagram less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And now it's taken off. It's massive.
When I post for you on Instagram, I turn off notifications on the phone inside because it's just hopping.
Of course, yeah.
I just turn it off.
Like anyone, you know, that's listening to this, because, you know, I suppose my real purpose of being here today, you know, it's not about Sigma Homes. Like, I want people to understand that Sigma Homes is a successful company, full stop. Now, what are they doing? What can we learn from that?
Yeah.
You know, when you look at Facebook, Instagram, you know, for sure, they're, you know, for me, they're a daily part of my life now.
Yeah.
You know, I probably spend, you know, outside of having e-guys, so I know Jen does my Instagram, and Christopher in the other room, he looks after all our Facebook, and Mark looks after all the what other stuff he does, I don't know. I believe him anyway. But, you know, I still put probably 2 days a week into marketing. And I would think in 2020, I think it'll probably go up to 3, maybe 4 days a week. Yeah. And that's the reality of how important it is, you know. Like Facebook, you know, when I look at the trends, you know, and I sat down with you, Mark, maybe a year ago, was it? Not even, when we said, right, maybe we need to move on to Instagram, you know, like 2000, when I look back at the years, like 16, 17 and 18, all my customers in those years are probably all Facebook customers. When I look at 19, I would say 15% of that has been Instagram.
Yeah.
So we have already, our next available date, so if you ring Sigma Homes and you're looking to carry out a project, our next available date is March 2021.
That's some backlog.
But just think
that's
about
that's amazing not to have.
So just try to think about that for a moment. Anyone that's listening, our next availability. Now, we're in an industry where the typical norm for a builder is he would take on one job, and with about 4 weeks to go, he'll start looking for the next one. So here we are, maybe 14, 15 months out, and I can tell you at 3 p.m. every Friday who I'm going to be handing a home over to.
Yeah.
I'll come back next week and I'll be able to add another 2 to that list, you know. But that's all because the power of social media. 2019, like when I do look at the books for 2020, I would think about 25% of those have come from Instagram. So I can see the shift happening. You know, I think by 2025,
TikTok.
it will. 2025, I think we'll be down to 10% Facebook. We'll be up to probably 80%. Or 60% Instagram and TikTok and whoever's up next, you know. So there is a massive change. And like I was saying to Mark at that time, was that, yeah, Facebook is the now customer. So everyone on Facebook are the customers, but Instagram was the ones coming up. But it's actually gone ahead of what I thought, Mark, because I thought maybe in about 3 years we start to see that result. No, it's starting to move already.
Yeah. Because people are like, it would be, a lot of people would, you know, you'd have a good 24 to 40 bracket as well on Instagram. That would be
absolutely
getting married, getting their first house.
Yeah.
You know, looking at, you know, especially in the housing market, I suppose as well at the moment. I know this isn't my area expertise at all, but a lot of people would be looking to buy something a little bit older and do it up a good bit as well. So you'd have people actively looking at your Instagram account as well, even just for inspiration.
And ideas. I mean, the amount of people I'd say who get just even from looking on your Facebook and Instagram that just get fantastic ideas for their own homes. It's
I have
brilliant.
friends who ask me to text them when I'm about to post on Instagram.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's always every Friday, just waiting. They're like, no, just text me when it's up.
No, look, again, thanks to social media, thanks to you guys, you know, if Sigma Homes got dressed up and got a taxi into town next Saturday night, I know that every second person will give it a high five. You know, I know they will, because that's the level that you guys have brought it to for us, you know. Okay, I know you said to us, Mark, but that's great, but you've got to be able to close and do the project and keep customers happy, like, you know.
100%. I always say the best marketing in the world does not make up for a bad service.
Yeah.
So you need both. If you have a fantastic service and a fantastic business, word of mouth can get you there. It's not going to bring you to the level you want to get to, but if you have the best marketing in the world, and you're not working with a company like yourselves who can deliver on everything that they say they deliver, it's just not going to work at the end of the day.
Look, Mark, 4 years ago, I would have agreed with you. I disagree with that. I think word of mouth is no longer good enough. It is the source of everything, but like marketing is everything. Like if you are not investing a serious amount of time and effort into marketing, it's a bit like buying a pub that doesn't have a door.
Yeah.
What's the point in being in business? Honestly, if you're not marketing, and I'm being very serious here, give it up, lads. Forget about it. Go away and work for somebody else. Do something else. If you're not putting yourself in uncomfortable positions on a daily basis, honestly, your business can't be successful. It just doesn't work that way. Social media is the window of all opportunity. It has never been so easy. It has never been so easy if you're genuine. If you're not a genuine business and your heart is not in the right place, then all this is a waste of time. It'll expose you very quickly. But they will, Jen. But if you're real, this can take you to wherever you want it to take you.
100%.
Yeah.
I guess as well as that, on the word of mouth side of things, we just kind of digitally, we're just looking at your word of mouth in a different way. So we go out, we'll record a testimonial, we'll show it. We're actually just pushing word of mouth.
It's online word of mouth.
Online.
Word of mouth. So we're going, tell us why you loved us. And then we're showing, look, everyone. And people, especially because you're so local. I mean, when we do ads and stuff for you, we're ring fencing Cork. We're not. We're not going hugely further.
No, we're staying in a small blanket.
Yeah, exactly. So that means, the population of Cork isn't huge either.
No.
It has so much potential for recognition of you on a day-to-day basis as well. You have people from Cork will recognise Sigma Homes. I can guarantee you, even looking at the videos, I would say that if I was getting a house, I would actually, if I was using Sigma Homes, I'd be going, John, I'm proud now to have that logo outside my house while it's being built,
And now we're moving into the serious part of this conversation. So now the Sigma Homes brand, and now it comes with, it's like, I see here you've got an iPad and there's an Apple logo at the other side of it. You're proud of that. You ain't going to put a sticker over that, if you. So, and again, it's because it creates that people are proud to be associated with that company. They're, it's like a badge of honor in a respectful way. The same as if I buy something, I'm not going to hide the logo on it. No. Somewhere inside it has a pleasing, it has said it would promise me something, and it has,
Pull your sleeve over your Rolex watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I presume there is no such thing as a business that hasn't got social media.
Well, there's plenty. There's plenty of smaller businesses definitely too.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, you mentioned Apple. Apple are not active on social media. They've taken a different route. But I would say
they got in early, they really, before, they had established before.
For 99.99999% of businesses. It's literally, like you said, this is a way to share your business with all your potential customers. It's crazy not to be doing it. But the hardest thing, I think, for most people, which you've taken to like a duck to water, is actually getting out there and putting themselves out there on camera. Yeah. Would you have any tips for people in terms of, if they're thinking of taking that leap, what's the little push? Or is there any little tidbits you would give them?
Yeah, for sure. It's coming back to this uncomfortable. Getting comfortable being uncomfortable. I think unless you're in that space, whether it is in front of a video or going meeting a customer, you've got to understand that is normal. Feeling the butterflies in your tummy, being nervous. This is all normal, and it's a part of success and trying to drive your company on. Guys, just press the live button and see what happens. Yeah. And before you know it, you'll have 10 of them done. Every time I look at mine, I'd love to change every single thing on it, and I don't even look back at them now anymore.
Yeah.
But I remember the first one, it was like, oh no, do I really need this in my life? Okay, it's a one-off. I sold myself in, it's a one-off. I'll just do this one, and you get it. And then before you know it, you're doing another one, and you're doing another one. And it becomes normal. The same as this room environment. You had to do your first one, and now it becomes
rough.
But it becomes. But when you look back, you can see the difference. But I don't think customers actually even see it.
Not as much as you do.
No.
You're always going to. I think internally, you'll always over exaggerate it.
Content without content, just make content easy as possible. Let content become a natural part of your life. If you're making a big deal and you're saying, right, I need to block book this section of the diary, I need, and you're kind of putting hurdles in your way, you have to make content something that's natural, and it becomes a part of your day, and you can just do it on the go. And that's the way it should be. That's what people want to see, I think,
That's like we did a video podcast recently as well, and like we were saying, a lot of people don't realize the day-to-day things they do are actually of interest to other people, because it becomes the norm.
For
and
them.
If it's your normal everyday routine, and if you're doing something you don't, actually no one will care about this, I do this every day.
Yeah.
No one else does that every day.
Put it out there, you'll see if people...
And it is hard to remember that at times that, like you said, the world you live in, you think it's normal.
Yeah.
But to the person down the street, they don't even know what you're talking about. It's very special. It's like, it's the same with any profession or any industry,
Exactly,
Yeah.
It just so happens walking around a beautiful house is probably the best thing about the day. Those videos come into me, I'm always like, I'm so jealous.
Yeah. No, they are look, they are amazing homes. And look, yes, sitting in the car on a Friday and driving out, getting to meet the customer, and getting to see, it's like a wedding day. It's like having a baby. It's up there with the big ones. Yeah, there is. But I am very nervous. What happens if they don't like it? It's never happened, but what happens if they tell me, you're always nervous, you're always nervous. In a confident way, you're nervous, but you walk around and, I have all my goodies that, we should traditionally bring. I set the house up and I do my live video and, and then I wait the customers normally on within a few minutes. But yeah, I'm already looking through the customer's eyes at that point, and I'm looking around and we're going, God, this is beautiful. I would actually love to live here. Yeah. And the day I don't feel that way, then I think we're moving in the wrong direction.
Something really exciting you said to me a few weeks ago was that you had a client who was going to be a little bit late because they wanted to watch your video.
Yeah.
And I just think that's when you've reached peak social media. It's so good. It's just that like even the client is going to wait to watch your video before they go look at their own.
And that's happening, and that's happening probably 3 more times since we last spoke.
Yeah.
Where clients are sitting back in the car, in the drive, or in the car park somewhere at home, and they actually watch the live video and the comments and stuff. We did a handover. We did 2 handovers last week. There was one that was finished ahead of schedule, but there was something happened with my phone and the memory, whatever. It didn't go up. But the client rang me that night, wondering why hasn't my video gone up? It's incredible. Like, it's like my friends are all waiting to see it. No, it's lovely. It's special, but a big shout out to Cliq Media, because at the end of the day, you've been a part of this market, from day one to where we are now. We have big plans for 21, but again, we're going to keep those to ourselves. We always like to do something first, and then show people. But we have some big plans for 21.
I think one part of the big success of Sigma Homes is not just the experience it creates for the customers, but for everybody watching. It's they feel they're on the journey with you on a house. You're there from day one when it's an old building, when walls are coming down. You're there along the journey. There's photos, there's video, there's content going up about that project the whole time, and then they're there live then on the final day. So it's a great example of experiential marketing. I would say in any industry, let alone to be doing it in the construction industry, which, as you say, nobody's doing it in. But it's fantastic to see it in action. In fairness,
it's great. And I suppose anyone that's listening, I suppose one of the biggest tips I think Sigma Homes would give everybody is that make mistakes. They're normal, but learn. Mistakes should only ever happen once. But it's the mistakes that got us to where we are today.
100%.
So let the mistakes happen, but only happen once. It's when it's happening twice, 3 times, that's the time, guys, to give it up. Really it is, but welcome every mistake, every complaint you get. That is a great opportunity to grow your business. But if it happens twice, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I was listening to it, I think it was a podcast or something recently, and it was like that. Someone was saying that if someone's coming to tell you something that you've done wrong or to give you negative feedback in some way, that person is actually invested in trying to make you better. They're saying to you, I want to be a lifelong customer. This is how you could probably...
For the right reasons. Yeah.
And that's all it actually is, as opposed to a lot of people feel that as an attack, or like, oh no, Joe.
They take it personally, yeah.
Personally, yeah.
Because if you look, I know there's one of the things up online, we actually built a whole manual from the first interaction with Sigma Homes right through to the end for our site managers, the guys that run the site end of it. And there's about 600 pages in it. And that has all come from little mistakes that happened, learning, adjusting. But that's natural. It'll keep adjusting and changing. Next year we'll be doing different things. You know, time moves on, you know?
Yeah. Brilliant. Patrick, we're over a half hour in already.
Oh my God.
That kind of disappeared.
That's the best €100 I've ever earned.
I suppose to finish up, I would say, look, for anybody listening who's out there and afraid to get on social media, go on to you're a great example. Go on to Sigma Homes Facebook page, go on to their Instagram page and see what they're doing. And as you say, go out and make your own mistakes, and you'll have fun doing it as well.
And enjoy it.
Yeah,
this is a fun opportunity. You know, it's never been easier.
Yeah, especially with live video. I mean, that's probably the biggest panic point for people. But I think, like, if you make a mistake, actively just be like, oh, I just made a mistake, oops, and carry on. I mean, just be authentic. I hate using that word a lot in marketing because it's one of those kind of buzzwords. But just be yourself, and people will be like, they'll just smile with you. They're not going to take anything.
You know, when I look back years ago, look how long it would take to get an opportunity to feel nervous. You know, what would you have to do to, you know, you'd have to, I don't know how you'd even create it. Now you can just do it. You can pick up your phone and press the button and you can feel that excitement straight away.
Yeah.
It can't be any easier.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Fantastic. Brilliant. Patrick, thanks very much for joining us today.
Great to be here.
That's been this week's episode of the Digital Marketing Scoop.